Okay, today in Vectorworks, we are looking at lighting positions, object info, and some printing stuff that you'll need to know to do Vectorworks assignment 2. So here is our Mystery of Irma Vep set. This is the Act 1 set, if you remember from last time. We have our navigation palette, and we have our, you can see Act 2, or sorry, Act 1, we can see Act 2, remembering that Act 1 and 3 are basically the same, so there's not a second thing. The other thing to remember is that when we're drawing in Vectorworks, we draw on wherever the check mark is. So I'm going to go ahead and actually activate Act 1, because we're going to start looking at lighting positions. So we're in wire. Oh, you're in wireframe. You just go up to here, go to top plan, or I think Control 5 on a PC or Command 5 on a Mac. Okay. And we need to look at lighting positions. On the file you have, lighting positions are called electrics, because that's what I named them. I didn't name them lighting positions. I named them the electrics because I was the scenic designer. Okay. So you go, where are the electrics? Well, we can come down here under class names and go, oh, look, here's electrics. And they're turned off. Let's turn them on so we can see where they are. Okay. I'm actually going to go ahead and move my check mark to here. And to make this a little easier as you're looking at things, at the moment, I'm going to set this to gray others, which means everything but my electrics are going to be in gray. You don't have to do that. I'm doing that for the video so it's a little easier to see things, okay? And this looks like they have instruments on them. Oh, I know what's going on. I'll show you that. Okay. So we're going to try to find out about an electric. I'm going to select an electric, okay? Oh, electrics are on the building layer, so you'll have to also move to the building layer to select an electric. There we go. Okay, I've selected this electric. It is, we'll zoom in on here, it says it's the first electric. Okay, I want to find out about this electric. I want to get some information. To do that, we're going to use the Object Info palette, which we find by going to Window, Palettes, and Object Info. Object Info. I'm much better with a mouse than my finger. Okay, here we go. And there are three things. There's render, which is how it's being drawn, data, which gives us some information about it, or shape. Shape is actually where we're going to get most of our information at the moment. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, I've selected the first electric, and we can look at this here. So it is a lighting position object. What that means is I can hang a light on it. Ooh, okay, that's what you can do with a lighting position object in Vectorworks. You can hang lights on them. The class is electrics. In case I wanted this on a different class for some reason, I could move it by using the drop-down menu here. You can do this with anything. If something's on the wrong class, you can just change it here. Same thing with the layer. I could move that to the scenery layer, the lighting layer, whatever. I'm going to leave it on the building layer for now. But you can move it if you need to. Okay. Next up, we have X, Y, Z. X, Y, and Z are coordinate points in space, okay? The one we're going to be most concerned with on our lighting positions is the Z. Z is the height from the stage floor, okay? So our first electric is 22 feet from the stage floor. Does that mean your first electric on your show has to be 22 feet from the stage floor? No, you can set it as the lighting designer in consultation with the scenic designer, and I'm going to be pretty flexible with you. Now, I'm going to move into front view for a moment here. Okay. Did you guys see how I did that? There's a little drop down here with your views. The other place you can get that is View, Standard Views, and Front. Okay. And where is my first electric? Okay, I'm going to go into a 3D view. First electric, where are you? Oh, in 12 I can't select an electric in this view. Can I force select it? No. In later versions of Vectorworks, post 2012, you can select an electric in 3D view. Fine. We'll go back to this. And now I've got it selected. Okay. I can, so it's at 22 feet now. I'm going to go ahead and reset my Z value to 12 feet. So you can see what has happened. We're now going to go back into our front view. And now can you see I now have an electric way down here? Yes. Okay. Oh, and now that it's selected, it looks like I can change it back. Yes. Okay, I can change it back. Again, you set what your electrics are at. That's your call. Okay? Within reason. A 12-foot electric's probably going to be a little weird because that's going to be like in the actors' faces. Okay? But fine. Okay? So that's how you can change them. The other thing you can do is you can grab them and in everything after 2012, you can grab them and move them.
No.
You weren't able to? Okay. Really?
I just tried it because I clicked it to like 1 foot.
Uh-huh.
And I tried to click on it to move it, and it unselected.
Okay. So you may have to do electrics. A lot of other things you can move, but it's actually fine, I think. That you can't just randomly grab your electrics and move them, because that really is protecting you that you're doing this as a deliberate decision about where you want your electrics. Okay? The electrics that are in here are the pre-built electrics. They're there. If you need an additional electric or something, come talk to me. I will help you build one. We don't really cover a lot on doing that, although we have time. We get through everything else. If there's time, I'll show you guys how to build an electric in Vectorworks. Okay. A couple of other things. If you make any adjustments to these, this is a list of all the lights that are hanging on it. However, I apparently didn't have it reset before I did that. So if it bugs you that this says, we've got all these lights on here and you're like, we don't have those lights, select it, click on position summary, turn it off, turn it back on, and then it will reset it. Does that make sense? Vectorworks, a lot of this stuff where it's getting data and filling in stuff for you, it does not update live because it would crash your computer with all the things it has to update. So if you want something updated, you usually have to run an update. And again, it's as easy as turning on and off. And now it's updated. Okay. We also have front of house positions. They're called the first AP, second AP, and third AP in our theater. We also have box booms. Now, box booms are vertical positions, okay? On a drawing, you really couldn't see them because they would just be little dots, right? What designers do to symbolize them is they call it an exploded view. They basically they take it from where it was in like a tree going timber, and they tilt it outwards. So this would be the bottom of the box boom, and the bottom of the box boom is where the box boom is in reality. And then here is the top of the box boom. It's outside. Vectorworks does not actually understand that's what you're doing. So when you're using Vectorworks to do the math for you on your box booms, they're going to be a little bit off. So basically you just have to assume that if you're at the bottom of the box boom, your light is going to be a little bit smaller in beam and a little brighter than you thought it was going to be. If it's at the top, it's going to be a little bit bigger and a little bit dimmer. but it's pretty close. And I have the height of the box boom light set to select. Okay, fine. Set to where the middle of the box boom is, so 15 feet. And that's approximately correct. I mean, you'll notice I have everything in nice, even half feet because that's close enough. And then I'm not stressed about lighting stuff. Okay? So we've got our box booms, we've got our APs, we've got our overhead electrics that we can move around. Does that make sense? Okay, so for your Vectorworks assignment 2, we're going to talk about instrumentation and photometrics. You need to print out your set, Act 1 and Act 2, and your lighting positions. So we need to talk about how we do that, okay? Okay, so come on, redraw. There we go. You guys see this gray box here? This is our piece of paper, okay? To move our piece of paper, it is the page move tool, which is hiding under our pan tool. So click and hold pan. Now you see we have a little pop-up menu and we go to page move tool. Page move tool allows us to move the paper around, okay? Ooh, exciting. Is this paper big enough for me to get my whole drawing on? No. So I need to make the paper bigger. That's actually not going to help unless your printer can do different sizes of paper. But we're going to go down here to our page setup. And we're going to choose a paper size. Actually, just choose a paper size. And go to printer setup. So here's where you're going to select the size paper you're going to use. If you're in the Idea Lab or you've had just a regular printer, you're selecting US letter. That's 8.5 by 11. That's your standard piece of paper. But what you can do is in Vectorworks, you can say, yeah, I get that I'm just using an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, but I need to get more set on here. So I don't care that it's no longer in scale. I'm going to say set my scale to 40%. And I click OK, and now my piece of paper is big enough to get everything on it. 40% is about the right answer, okay? Or the other thing you could do is you could set it back and you could print out multiple pieces of paper and tape them together. But it's only going to print out what's inside the box. Does that make sense? Inside the box is what we do for our paper. Okay, and then you guys know how to print from there. File, print. Okay? Oh, goody. We have got lots of time. I covered everything. Lighting positions. We looked at those. Object info. Printing. Okay, so let's make a lighting position. To make a lighting position, you have to have something in the drawing already. It has to be a three-dimensional, well, actually, it has to be a hybrid object, which, yeah, I'm going to show you how we do this the easy way. If you go Window, Palettes, Resource Browser, you're going to get all these symbols that are in the drawing already. And apparently some that are left over from something else because we've got, okay. We're going to go up to Irma Vep because that's the name of our drawing, okay? And we have a desk in there, and we have a 4-foot ET canopy. I have no idea what that is. Oh, it's a plant. I know what it is. Okay. Anyway, you're going to see in here there's something called a 10-foot pipe and a 50-foot pipe. And those are the only pipes that are in here. Okay. So 10-foot pipe is a type of object. You see how it says it's a 2D/3D object. Something that's a 2D/3D object can be turned into a lighting position. Okay? Which means in theory I can turn a 6-inch Fresnel, which is a light, which is a 2D/3D symbol, into a lighting position. Don't do that. Because it'll cease being a light. And that will be bad. Yes, James. This is resource window, palettes, resource browser. Huh? Oh, when you go into your resource browser, scroll up to IrmaVep where it says files. Scroll up to IrmaVep. Oh, make it bigger. Drag the corner, make it bigger. Okay. So I'm going to go for a 10-foot pipe. 10-foot pipe will be a lighting position that is 10 feet long. Okay. Select it. When you double click on it, you're going to automatically select the symbol insertion command, which is over here. If you double click on 10-foot pipe, it's going to change this from wherever you were to the symbol insertion tool. Okay. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to click here where I want this. And I can always move it later. First click places the middle of it. Second click sets the rotation. Okay, and now I have that in there. Is it a lighting position yet? No, it's a 10-foot pipe. And we know that because we go to Object Info, and Object Info says it is a 2D, 3D symbol. Okay, that's all it is. It's a 2D, 3D symbol. It's a symbol. Okay. I'm going to select it, and hopefully you're already in this mode, but you may not be. Go to Tools, Workspaces, and make sure you're in Spotlight. Okay, if you're not in Spotlight, just change it over to Spotlight. Okay, you're going to see your drawing will redraw for a second. Everything should come back. And if it closed all your palettes, just reopen them. Object Info. Actually, I don't need my resource browser anymore. Cool. But I do need my navigation. Okay. Okay, so I have my object selected. It's a 2D, 3D symbol. I now have a Spotlight menu up here since I've selected Spotlight. Everyone see that? Right there. We're going to go down there, and we're going to go down to Object Conversion, Convert to Lighting Position. If you are on 2015 or later, I think it's just straight under Spotlight. I don't think you have, it's not, is it still under Object Conversion? Okay. There is actually a slightly easier way to do this in the newer versions, but I'm teaching everyone and this way still works. And it's the way I always do it, is I put my light in and then I make it a lighting position. In the newer versions of Vectorworks, when you select an object, you can then select a command for lighting position and then put it in and save a step. But I don't really think it saves much. I think it's the same number of clicks. So convert to lighting position. Okay, first thing I have to do, it comes up with a pop-up box. It says, please name this position. Please name the position something unique, something that's not already in the show. Okay? Just because things get a little confusing inside Vectorworks if you do that. Vectorworks is perfectly happy, sort of. But later on, this is one of those places where I tell you, like, the polyline tool is evil. Trust me now, name it something unique. Okay? So it might be temporary position 1, or temporary position stage right 1. Okay? That's a good name. Okay? Whatever you want to name it, just so long as it's unique. Click OK. Now, with my object info selected, what does it say? It says it's now a lighting position object. It has changed. It has new properties. It has new magical things it can do. Okay? Position name is in here, temp SR1. If you say, wow, that was a really bad name for the position, I really want to name it Bob, I have just renamed it Bob. Okay?
Officially going to make lighting positions back for people names. That's how it's going to be now.
It was a tradition in my undergrad, if you were adding temporary positions, that the temporary positions were typically named Fred, Ethel, Lucy, and Ricky. If any of you recognize the reference, it's from the old I Love Lucy show. But it was just a tradition. I don't know where it started or why it ended. But yes, the extra positions were typically, yeah. I understand Disney's extra positions are traditionally named Alice, Baloo, Cheshire, Dumbo, Eeyore. I don't know what's beyond that. But they're A, B, C, D, E, alphabetical order of Disney names. Oh, our lighting teacher came from Disney, but that's why we called them Fred, Ethel, Lucy, and Ricky. Because she was adapting that system. Okay? Anyway, so we have a position named Bob. And it actually has a name next to it. It says Bob. If you don't want its name next to it, you can turn off position summary and his name goes away. He's named Bob, so he's now a he. We'll do another one. We'll call her Jenny or something. You can have a guy named Jenny. You can have a girl named Bob. Okay. Okay, so we have our lighting position named Bob. Okay. There are these other things by it. I'm going to suggest that you turn on auto numbering. Auto numbering is going to save you a step later. Okay. It's just it's below position summary. Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. When you select auto numbering, you need to select the auto numbering direction. And I need to talk about this for just a moment. Bottom to top. Remember, Vectorworks does not understand booms, that they're laid out sideways. There is a way to sort of make Vectorworks understand them in later versions. But it doesn't do a good job. So Vectorworks hates that I say that. Bottom to top does not mean referring to the boom. It means from the bottom of the piece of paper to the top of the piece of paper. Left to right means from the left of the piece of paper to the right of the piece of paper. It does not understand the theater at all. Okay? So just be aware when you're selecting your auto number order how you want it to number them. And we'll get to that later. And you can always change it. You can always turn auto numbering on later. You can turn it off later. That's what I love about Vectorworks. You're not committed. You can change your mind unless you use polylines, in which case you're just doomed. Okay? So numbering direction, I'll just go left to right. If for whatever reason you need your auto numbering to not start at 1, you can change that in here, starting number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm letting you know that. File in the back of your brain. I think I've needed to use that command twice in my life. Okay, in 12 years of designing in Vectorworks, I've needed that command twice. It's nice to know that it's there. I just haven't needed it very often. Increment, auto numbering will number things 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you have it set to 1, if you have it set to 2, it'll number them 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. If you have it set to 3, it'll be 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, no, 15. Okay. I have never, ever, ever, ever needed that command. But it's there, and I'm glad to know it's there in case I ever need it someday. I still can't figure out why I would need it. But it's there, and that's a good thing. Okay? Multi-circuit styling, I don't care what you pick, you just have to be consistent. Symbol name, don't edit this. The symbol name is a 10-foot pipe. That's what it is. It's the symbol of the 10-foot pipe. Don't edit it.
How did that mouse get big?
I don't know. Apparently when I shake it around really fast, it gets big. I don't know. Okay. So that's object info. That's creating a lighting position. Some really cool things happen with a lighting position. Lights attached to them. Now, you're going, what, at this moment? But there are some really nifty things. Like if you have a boom, a temporary position, you say, the designer says, the senior designer says, you can't put a boom there, but you can put it here. Well, because the light's attached to the lighting position, when you grab the lighting position and move it, the lights will move with it.
What?
Yes. Lighting positions will allow you to auto number. Lighting positions will do paperwork for you. There's a lot of advantages to something being a lighting position. It's awesome. Okay? There are times when I create a lighting position called floor so that I can have lights on the floor and have it do all the work for me. And then sometimes I'm like, it's not worth it, and I will just do the work on those myself. Okay? Lighting position Bob is at 0 feet off the ground. If it's a 10-foot position and it's going to be sitting on the floor, it's probably going to actually be 5 feet off the ground because it's 10 feet upwards. So I like to set that so my math works out well at 5 feet. Okay? And as I move it around, So I move it around. Come on, Bob, move. Let's move. Okay, you can see that it's X and Y stuff changes. Come on. You can see because that's where its insert position is. Okay, and I can rotate it if I want to. I can either do that with the rotation tool, Windows palettes, basic tools, rotate. We've looked at the rotate tool before. There we go. The cool thing is, before I say this, I hope this started in 12. Yes, Bob will always be right side up. No matter how you rotate it, Bob's name will never be upside down. Okay? No. It's a good thing because it always prints out nicely. You don't want your text upside down on a drawing. That just confuses people. Okay? So that's your rotation tool. The other way you can rotate it is to come into your object info and see here it's at 179.89 degrees. Oh, I don't want that. I really want it at 180. I can type in 180. That's not going to show much because I just moved it point something. But I can also put it at negative 90 and it rotates. Okay? Okay, so that is creating a lighting position. You need to have a printout of Act 1 and Act 2 of Irma Vep with the lighting positions on. Okay, you don't have to add a lighting position for next time. Okay, you can. If you're like Elaine and you're like, I know that I need an extra lighting position right here, right now. I don't know if Elaine knows that or not. Okay. But if she did, you could put it in a while. And if not, that's fine. But you need a printout of the theater and the lighting positions that you know about. Okay? And you're going to obviously need two of them because you're going to need one for Act 1 and one for Act 2. Okay?
That's it.
That's it. Okay? If you want to go a little bit farther, you might also want to print out a front view, including the lighting positions. So how would you do that? Well, you would go View, Standard Views, Front. Okay? And, I'm sorry. When here, zoom in, okay? So here's how high my lighting positions are. We look at this, my page is really big, right? I'm getting a lot of extra stuff, a lot of empty space here. You could go back over to your page setup and say, 40%, I'd probably, maybe 60%. I'm going to just guess on that, I don't know. 60%, it's a little small. Page setup, page setup. 50%, okay. Okay, there, I'm not quite getting all of my box booms, but it's probably okay because my box booms don't actually fan out like that. They're straight up and down, remember? Okay. So I can do a front view, and you might want to do a side view as well. Same thing, just go to side, which will be left or right, whichever you want to do. And now you can see, oh, look, here's Bob hanging off to the side. Here's our lighting positions. Here's our stuff. Okay? That would be an excellent additional thing to do. Yep, I'm getting everything. Okay? We'll zoom in here so you can see we're getting all three of our lighting positions, front of house, and our box booms and stuff. Okay? Those would be not bad things to have printed out with you. Again, both for Act 1 and Act 2 for the day Vectorworks Assignment 2 is done. What is required are your top views, your top plan views. Okay? Does that make sense? But these other two might help you with your in-class assignment that day. So, hint, hint. Just saying. Okay, are there any other questions? Anything else you guys have been playing around with in Vectorworks that you're like going, ooh, I want to know how to do that? Okay. Not yet. Did I show you guys how to look at things in color? You go to front view, or I guess top, or any view. You can go view, rendering, and select OpenGL or Fast RenderWorks would be your best bets because they're the fastest. And you can see what your set looks like in color. You can go, ooh, ah. Oops. It's all pixelated? What do you mean it's all pixelated? It's rendering. Give it a moment.
Is the white the pipes?
Yes. Our electrics happen to be white because I never colored them in. So yes. So if we move around in 3D here, you will see our electrics.
Awesome.
Awesome. I want to warn you, some of your computers may not be able to handle this of moving around in 3D and in color.
Oh no, yeah, I was on it the other day. I was moving around. My computer was like, nope, and like kicked me out. And I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Do that again.
I recommend if you're going to be moving around in 3D, go back to a wireframe view, rendering wireframe, or Shift Command W on a Mac, and I don't know what it is on a PC. Probably Shift Control W. Yes.
When you add lights, does it like color the set? The light
Only if you turn the light on.
color?
Yeah.
I don't know if it like actually shows what it'll actually look like.
If you put in a gel number that it knows, and you turn the light on, it will demonstrate it.
Okay.
You can shutter it and focus it and put gobos in, although the gobos it knows, it doesn't know all the gobos. It's really good. It's getting really good at knowing the light colors. Not as good at knowing the
Is
gobos.
there like a list somewhere of like colors like that it does know or like?
I've never found a list of what it does know and what it doesn't now. And when we get to doing renderings, I will show you how to, if it doesn't know your gel color, you can tell it. So we'll get, that's not until way at the end of the semester. But yes, like notice I'm not teaching you how to put lights in yet. Soon. I think that's our next Vectorworks lesson. Yes, March 10th, you'll learn how to put lights in. Yay. But I'm trying not to teach you too much all at once, okay? And we can also look at, okay, let me turn Act 2, or Act 1 off before I turn Act 2 on. And there's Act 2, and I just want to explain how the scenic designer envisions Act 2 working. All the stuff in Act 2 that's outdoors in Egypt happens stage right. All the stuff that happens inside the tomb happens stage left. And if you look at the backdrop, it's basically black over here, like the side of a pyramid. And then the mummy unit rolls out in front of it. And the mummy looks all weirded out. It used to look really good.
The one in Act 1
Is okay?
better.
Is better?
It's just tiled wrong.
Yeah, it's yes, it's a tiling error. For those of you that know what tiling is, it's something that every time I change versions of Vectorworks, it kind of gets screwed up, and I've stopped caring. I'm like, you guys know it's a sarcophagus. Everyone knows it's a sarcophagus. We're good. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we're done early today then.